Welcome to another edition of High School Lowdown. For Jeff Bird and Ernest Boker, I'm Steve Wilson. Porter's Chapel travels to Benton Academy, and the biggest question I have for you, Ernest, was last week's win over Park Place, was that indicative of what the Eagles really have?
Yeah, I mean, they have some talent. You know, they're not a team that's going to go out and stink it up every week or even struggle like they did the last couple weeks before that. They're going to go out and beat the teams they should beat, maybe struggle against some of the better teams. And when you have a mismatch like that, that's what you want to see out of a good team, is just, for lack of a better term, a beatdown like that, a 46-0 win.
You don't want to see them lift off the gas pedal, kind of bumfoot around, I guess you would say.
Right, and they certainly didn't do that last week, up 39-0 at halftime.
Well, what kind of progress do you think sophomore quarterback Zach Morgan's making?
He looked a little better last week, made some good throws, had a real nice touchdown pass on a fade route. Didn't get a lot of chances to throw because they were up so big at halftime. Coach Wade Patrick, PCA, said he wanted to throw about 15 times. He only threw 5 and none after halftime. So it's, really needs some work yet just to get more comfortable back there.
Speaking of important games, Warren Central will be hosting Northwest Rankin, and that's a rivalry that's grown and grown and grown over the years.
It has, and one reason is because the two teams are so similar. If you look at their statistics, you can't tell them apart. Both quarterbacks are at 40%, both of them around 300 yards. Both teams like to run the ball. They're within 10 yards apiece on rushing stats. It's like I said, it's very hard to tell them apart except for what the uniforms they wear.
I talked to two veterans of numerous Northwest Rankin and Warren Central games, defensive tackle Mac Thomas and center Reagan Fleming, about what it's really like playing in such a hard-hitting rivalry. What's it like playing in a Northwest Rankin Warren Central game? Is it a pretty hard-hitting physical contest?
It is. It's extremely physical. Going into it, especially first game of the district, we usually have the biggest crowd that we see all year besides our rivalry with the team across town.
Is it one of those games that everybody kind of marks on their calendar, and it's kind of a big marking stick for y'all?
It is, because last time we beat them, it was a big thing, and we went into the playoffs, so everybody looking to come into it, and everybody looking at it like, well, if we beat them, there's a better possibility that we would be going to the first round playoffs. So it's extremely big for us in the community.
Well, looking down at the stats, looking at what you guys like to do offensively, what they like to do offensively, the two football teams, you could almost say they're mirror images of each other. Is that a pretty accurate statement?
That is true, because we come out, basically with the same things on offense and the same things on defense, and it's a game where usually a better man wins.
You guys have enjoyed a big rivalry with Northwest. What's been the real reason why y'all have always had a really strong rivalry with them?
They're usually one of our toughest games of the year. They're almost always one of the top dogs in our district. So, when we beat them, feels like it gives us an upper hand in the district.
St. Aloysius travels to Hartfield Academy, a school that was better known formerly as University Christian.
Right. It's the same campus, and that's pretty much about the only thing. A lot of players are gone. Their quarterback from last year, Caleb Schufelt, transferred to MRA. New coach, new uniforms, new nickname, new everything except for where they're going to play the game, which is even new for St. Al because St. Al's never been there.
After nearly a month, Vicksburg finally gets a home game against Jim Hill, and I know they're glad to be home.
Well, they were very happy to get a win at Lawrence County last week. That's what they were so excited about, and they stepped up. That was so good to see. They were, like I said, they had a big lead, 27-0, let it get away from them a little bit, but they came back with a great drive the third quarter. Tavares Johnson Jr. completed 4 passes to 4 different receivers on that drive of 81 yards, 14 plays. Took about 5 minutes, and they got the ball in the end zone, took a 2-score lead, won the game.
Of course, this week they take on Jim Hill, their division opener, and that's a huge game for them.
Well, they remember last year when they went to Jackson and played Jim Hill and just had trouble stopping the run. That's going to be the big key this week. Can they stop the run?
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of High School Lowdown. For Jeff Bird and Ernest Boker, I'm Steve Wilson. Be sure to check out all the happenings on VicksburgPost.com. And you can go there for scoring updates Friday night. And also you can follow us on our Twitter feed, and that's Vicks Post Sports. And that's VIX Post Sports. Thanks and have a great day.